25 years, yes, it's a very long time, but yet it isn't.
Find out now about the Gang Alternatives Program. Go to gangfree.org. Make the right choice.
The first 25 years of GAP's existence, more than 500,000 children have gone through the Gang Prevention Education Program. If GAP were to go away today, in 5 years or so, it'd be very likely to see the gang problem just as prevalent down here as it was 25 years ago, when it was the most gang-infested, highest gang crime area in the entire county of Los Angeles.
We know that we've saved a lot of kids from becoming gang members because of the GAP program. Over the last 25 years, we have had excess of 500,000 kids have gone through the GAP program. I grew up in San Pedro. We did have gangs, but not like they were in 1985 when we first started studying the problem. We're with the LA Unified School District. They're the ones that approved the curriculums. We started in the 5th grade, and we soon learned that the 5th grade was too late. So then we dropped down to the 4th grade level. GAP starts out as a prevention organization, not an intervention.
It's always better to teach correct behavior than it is to allow incorrect behavior to occur and then try to correct it.
The people that come from GAP have a passion for working with students and sharing their knowledge and their ability to be able to focus on those needs that aren't really dealt with in educational terms. They're not part of the regular curriculum.
We serve more than 500 students every day, which we keep out of the streets every day. Those are kids that are going to after-school programs where they get free homework tutoring, they get free snacks, they get, free arts and crafts materials, they're doing music, they go to field trips. We have free internet, we provide a lot of resources.
I work on everybody's computers, also do the mobile app. We've been doing this for about 3 years now. It was an idea that Doug had to add some value to the after-school program. We went to Valero and got a donation so we could purchase the truck. We went to Apple and we bought the computers at a little bit of a discount. We bought the satellite dish. Here we are 3 years later, still going strong. We go to each school for a total of 2 weeks each because of the budget cutbacks. We used to do 5 days a week, now we just do 3. There used to be 2 of us, now there's only 1.
What I hope I gain with having GAP here at my school, that we can make the difference for these children. It takes everybody. It was so true. It takes that whole village to build a kid.
It got started from the Youth Crime Roundtable. When we studied the problem in the harbor area, we came to the conclusion that the gangs was our big youth problem.
I grew up surrounded by gangs. Every day shootings, every day people were getting killed. People were, instead of sleeping on their beds, they were sleeping on the carpets. Why? Because bullets going in through their houses. You couldn't ride your bike outside of the streets. I wasn't even able to come out of my house to even play on the yard or anything. And GAP has made a big difference. Kids are now out there riding their bikes. They're hanging outside of their houses. Everybody here in GAP believes in our vision. We're here to make a difference. We make a difference every day.
We can't have a kid go in the classroom and learn about not joining gangs and then leave the school and walk into an infested, graffitied neighborhood. So we knew that we had to remove graffiti.
Graffiti is a form of vandalism. It started primarily as a tool for gangs to communicate with their members and also to send messages to other gangs and also to communicate to the neighborhood a sense of control. It's saying, we've written here, this belongs to us. And where conflict comes in with that sort of marking is if another gang says, no, we think that belongs to us, so they cross that tag out and then put their tag on top of it. Those kinds of tags left unchecked inevitably result in some kind of confrontation and violence, which could be anything from a simple fight to homicide. And of course, by taking the graffiti down, we can defuse that situation to a great degree.
We use GAP not only for programs here, but when we call GAP, to come and help us out with the graffiti around the school. As you drive around here, you see there's no graffiti. because I'm always calling Gap.
This is how gangs mark their territory and advertise for members, is basically through graffiti. You'll see 8-tray Crips, and then you'll see Rolling 60s, and the Rolling 60s will be crossed out. That means that they want to off somebody or kill somebody in another gang. And you'll see LAPD crossed out, LASO crossed out. That means kill a police officer, kill a deputy sheriff.
As senior lead officers, we work with a number of community-based organizations, including the Gangs Alternative Program. We continue to work with GAP to ensure that the graffiti is removed promptly. Citywide, there's a graffiti issue. It's important that we document, track, and even arrest these vandals in the city. GAP is helping us in that effort. The quicker we have graffiti removed, the more we would see in reducing violence in our communities.
I've been working for GAP for 7 years. I've dealt with some hardcore graffiti, some hardcore gang graffiti. Matter of fact, I've had a gun pulled on me one time for taking it off.
We got chased out of areas, times where they have actually shot at us with paint guns, and we have screwdrivers thrown at us. We'll come back the following day with either police escort, or we'll come back as a group next day early in the morning. One of the ways we remove the graffiti is with the pressure washer. It depends on what kind of spray paint they use or markers. We pressure wash it with hot water. If it's high temp spray paint, what we do, then we have to use sometimes like sandblasted.
Can you imagine if GAP did not paint out graffiti, what some of our neighborhoods would look like?
A community without GAP is a community with graffiti all over the walls.
We do approximately 7 to 7.5 million square feet of graffiti removal a year. You never remove 100% of it because you may have removed graffiti on a certain street in the morning, and before the end of the day there's already graffiti back in the area that you did in the morning. If they want to tag it 100 times, we'll do it 101. So as long as we always do it one more time.
It's very, very critical that the City of Los Angeles continue to support the GAP graffiti paint-out program. I've been involved with the Gang Alternatives program since 1993, when I first started working for the City Council office.
We even have had some of our GAP students who are now part of the GAP program. Their philosophy was, I was there, I grew up in the gang neighborhood, I grew up with gang kids, but I never became a gang member.
I grew up in a home where my father was a gangster. I was actually in the 4th grade when I had my GAP instructor. I'm a Gangfree life advisor, and I also help out at the after-school programs.
I had been here 8.5 years, going on 9. I was a GAP student.
We introduce ourselves, we explain to the students what we're doing. The first day that we're there is, I never have, never will.
It's a very rewarding experience to see the boys and girls make that commitment, never have, never will.
Never have, never will. Why? Because I can do better than that.
Never have, never will. I have it here on my GAP badge.
Never have, never will. It's been here since the beginning, and what it means is I have never joined a gang and I never will join a gang. Goes back all the way to the American Revolution. The whole phrase would have been, these colors don't run, they never have and they never will. We can shout out, never have, and then they reply, never will.
Never have.
Never will!
Wilmington is a community that takes great pride in their neighborhoods, and today we're cleaning up the community. We've got a broad range of volunteers who've showed up, from the very young to the very old. Some people who don't even live here in Wilmington have showed up today. And this is really about taking pride in your neighborhood and, you know, not depending on government or anybody else, but actually going out there yourself and picking up trash, painting out graffiti, and really cleaning up the little corner of the world where you live. And so I'm here today to show my support and pick up a little trash.
What we do best out of anybody else is really just putting all of our shared visions together as staff members, as employees, and really just work together. What's so unique about that is that passion and that drive that each and every one of these employees, whether it's crew supervisors, whether it's classroom advisors, whether it's Doug, whether it's, David Tynes, our director of operations. What's so unique about that is that we all have that passion and that drive to really work together and really just, know that this is for the good.
Tesoro began their partnership with GAP last November when we contributed $10,000 to their Step Up program at the local elementary schools.
The Step Up is a program for the kids. We have science, and we have with the kids with the homework, and writing, reading, and a lot of fun things, and basketball, a lot of sports.
The Gang Alternatives program was approaching its 15th anniversary when I came here. And at that time, we had one location. We had 7 employees, 3 of whom were full-time, the rest were part-time. The office that I'm in right now was the office that held the entire organization. And we served basically just San Pedro and Wilmington. Since then, we've grown to 4 locations. We have somewhere around 70 employees.
You haven't seen the work of several GAP directors. Our number one, our best executive director has been Doug Seamark. He has advanced this organization. He has introduced new programs. He has been so successful in grant writing.
Doug instituted the school program, the intervention program that we have, and expanded the organization in a lot of the different areas to become, I believe, the number one organization of this type that is around.
Primarily it's because of our director who came in 11 years ago, Doug Seamark, a remarkable, knowledgeable individual. I think we had about a $95,000 budget at that time, where today we're up close to $4 million.
He's been an incredible plus for GAP.
We have a large number of corporations here in the harbor area that have been partners with us over the years, and that number continues to grow.
One of our major sponsors right here is SA Recycling. And standing here with me is Moes Figueroa. You guys are busy here. What's going on?
We recycle car bodies, appliances, structures, plates.
Now, SA Recycling has been involved with the Gang Alternatives program for how long?
For as far as I know, more than 10 years. And we will, because we think it's a great program. It's good for the kids, and I think that will bring us back to the community and help the community to have young kids with future, and maybe they come start working for us, maybe they start becoming engineers.
Okay, Moses, as a board member of the Gang Alternatives program, thank you for your support.
The GAP workers that come to our schools that keep doing the job you're doing, because we really appreciate GAP, and we want GAP to keep on keeping on.
Happy 25th anniversary, GAP! Yeah!
My name is Patty. This is my family.
Thank you, GAP, for keeping us gang-free.
I want to personally thank all of the individuals, especially the corporations, the big businesses in our communities, our elected officials, everyone that has supported GAP. And I hope that you will continue to support GAP so we can continue our mission, and that is to keep our children out of gangs.
As we turn the page, rip up the stage. These are my shoes. This is my life and my choice. Gangfree.
Everybody hates Chris 'cause he wouldn't join a gang. Now he's living the life, doing TV and strange. Now everybody loves
Find out now about the Gang Alternatives Program. Go to gangfree.org. Make the right choice.
As we turn the page, rip up the stage.
These are my shoes. This is my life and my choice. Gang-free.
Everybody hates Chris 'cause he wouldn't join a gang. Now he's living the life, doing TV and strange. Now everybody loves Paige 'cause I'm living my dream. It's all about the GAP, yo. You know what I mean? No gangs, no color lines, no alcohol, no drugs. No gangs, no color line, no alcohol, no drugs. No gangs, no color line, no alcohol, no drugs. No gangs, no color line, no alcohol, no drugs. Stay in school, y'all. Y'all, aka Paige Heard for GAP. I'm out. We out.
Find out now about the Gang Alternatives Program. Go to gangfree.org. Make the right choice.
We out.